Hi, welcome back. I'm Bec Waterfield. This is Stepping Stones on Condor Online. What is this show all about? Well, each week I'm joined by business owners, entrepreneurs, inspirational people and people in the public eye to find out what makes them tick, what drives them, what inspires them, and the journey they've been on that's led them to where they are now, the stepping stones to their success. It's a real-life look at the stories behind the people who make Merseyside such a great place to live, work and play, and I am delighted this week to be joined by the very gorgeous Judi Hastings from Your Time to Change.
Hello.
How are you?
Marvellous, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming. I'm really interested to get to the nitty gritty about what you do. I find it fascinating, but we will get to that eventually. Because as always, we go back in time, Scooby-Doo style. School. No, we both call big school, secondary school, big school, don't we?
Yeah. We're in old money for the school situation.
Yeah. Do you remember being? Obviously, you remember being at school, but having any specific careers advice?
Yes, yeah, I do. And at school, this is going to sound so random, I really wanted to be a chiropodist.
Really?
Yeah.
That's feet, isn't it?
I loved feet. I loved feet.
You can leave now.
Yeah, loved feet, did I say toenails? Loved it. And I think,
Judi.
yeah, I know, it's so random, isn't it? And back in the day, and the only reason I didn't pursue is because back in the day, when you had to go to Manchester University, were the only university that did a chiropody degree, and you had to get A-level chemistry.
For feet?
Absolutely, yes. Right now, I think you can go on Groupon and buy a voucher and become a
like most
chiropodist.
things, yeah.
But then you had to get an A-level in chemistry, and I got an O-level, and I'll be perfectly honest, I really don't know how that happened. Because the A-level just was like a foreign language to me, and I had to kind of go, right, let's have a little different look. And that was the careers advice, because when I sat with the career officer and said, hello, I'd like to be a chiropodist, they went, right, okay, then here's all of the sciences that you need, and you have to go and get a bit of experience, which I did, and I loved all of the doing and that kind of stuff, but it was just that academic bit that eluded me, so I had a different kind of look. I'm
not sure I'll ever come back from that. You like toenails? Do you still like toenails and feet?
I do. I still do. I do. My mum and dad, bless them, they're in their 70s now, and I do their feet for them. Oh. Yeah, and I love it. Yeah.
Just having a little moment to...
Yeah, you know what you might need to
That's it. I mean, I guess everyone needs a job and everyone has to be different. So, you know, there are far worse things you could...
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Far worse. Yeah. So, yeah, when you decided the whole chemistry, I still can't believe that. Feet.
Yeah.
No, anyway, we won't go there. Where did you go from there? What was your thought process?
So, do you know what? That was the kind of academic thing, that was what I wanted to do. And I guess it probably comes back to the bit of the deep-rooted bit in me that was about helping people feel better, I guess, because when I did some work experience and I used to go to little clinics and it was great when people would come in and go, oh God, my feet are killing me, blah, 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 and you'd think, oh, I've helped them, they feel great. But I think from then, I'd always had an interest in arts and drama and stuff as well in school, so I used to dance a lot. I did ballroom dancing from a very, very young age. So then I used to look at dance stuff and that kind of thing that I went to an arts and drama college, did all that kind of stuff. And then because I was quite sporty, there was another block in the road because during one of the sports things I did, I broke my ankle and my wrist at the same time. So bye-bye dancing. So, you know, it's those kind of things. So I guess from there on in, it was like I did my A-levels and then I kind of went, oh, I need to find a job. I want to work. I want to earn some money. I want to do some stuff. And so I did the thing that most people of my age at the time just applied for jobs all over Merseyside. Please give me a job.
Scattergun approach.
This. Yeah, absolutely. And landed a job that I absolutely loved in a major insurer in Liverpool. And during the time I kind of in my first week, a couple of other jobs come up at the same time, and I had that choice to make of, oh my God, this other job looks great. And I decided to leave within 2 weeks of my first role, got another job. That job was rubbish. First role come back and said, do you really want to come back? And I went, yes, I do. And I went back. So, you know, I laugh because I stayed in that corporate world for many, many years, and I loved every second of it. And I always laugh and say my knicker elastic was stuck in the revolving doors because I'd leave and then come back, leave and then come back, because they were a great place to work and they were fabulous. So I just kind of fell in to that kind of corporate thing, and that working in Liverpool city centre and working for a big employer, and it worked for me. I loved it, and I still did dance, and I used to teach road. I did all of that kind of stuff as well as hobbies.
Fantastic. So we've kind of covered off 2 steps.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of 2 steps.
Yes.
So it's like a dancing class, isn't it? 2 steps. It's a world away from what you do now.
Totally.
So did you go from the corporate world into what you do now?
I did. So super lucky to work for a great company. And in 1999, so 20 years ago, and when we say that, it doesn't seem so long ago, but the company I work for invited me to go on a residential coaching course, an accredited coaching course to coach business. And that was quite unheard of in that corporate world at the time. 20 years ago, it was just coaching. What? Isn't that really just an American thing? Isn't that just a sports thing? Isn't that? And I think with my background of sport, I knew there was such a real kind of need for it, and it could work. So I went on an amazing course. It was over in the Wirral, and I was there for a week, and it changed my life forever.
Wow.
Completely changed my life. The course, it was called a Make a Difference course, and it was coaching. I now know that coaching had a lot of other things within there, but at the time, fresh eyes, it was coaching. This was my opening to how coaching works, how it can help people. And so much so, it changed my life dramatically, that I came home from that coaching course and ended my first marriage.
Wow.
Because there wasn't a good enough reason for me to stay in that marriage, and I learned so much about myself.
In a week?
Yes.
On what you thought was going to be a business coaching?
It was just going to be another toolkit that I would put in my kind of personal development folder, and it was something I could do with people. But that did change everything, and I stayed in the corporate world. It wasn't like I had this massive epiphany and I went, I stayed in the corporate world because the company that I worked for, they offered me the kind of opportunity to use that coaching with all of the people I worked with. So I continued to do that. And then I built on those skills still in the corporate world of how different thought processes, different questions can help performance in every way. So I just stayed doing that within my role. And it was the best part of my role. As various roles within that organisation, that stayed the constant, and it was the best part of my role. It really was.
I'm just blown away that you can go on a course and something can just kind of click. Can you pinpoint the moment? Can you pinpoint what bit it was?
In my mind, I can see exactly where I was sitting. I can see the room that I was sitting in, that I just went, oh my gosh. And only last week, so you may have heard of Neuro linguistic programming, and it's a big NLP thing. But this course wasn't a Neuro linguistic programming course, but there was elements. I know that now because I've done Neuro linguistic programming. There was elements of that within the course, and it was interesting. I noticed something this week. Somebody I know who had been on the NLP practitioner course that I've done, and they come back and they said, nothing fits anymore. I've come back from a course, and it's the same kind of thing. I'm in the wrong role, I'm in the wrong relationship, I'm in the wrong city, nothing. And I totally understood, and it was nice for me to be able to say, that's okay. That's normal. I too felt like that. I come back after a short space of time and went, oh my God, nothing makes sense in my life. What the heck have I been doing? I have literally been walking through my life backwards, and I've been turned around.
And you think it's all okay, and
it's marvellous. This is what you do. This is this is what happens. So so it can happen that quickly. It did for me, and it has. I know it's done for other people as well.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Oh, it's incredible.
We touched before about the kind of the journey that you've been on yourself. So let's hit on what your business does and what you do. So, your time to change.
Yes.
Tell us in a nutshell what that encompasses.
So, in a nutshell, I guess I help people find their reason why that they do stuff. And if that reason why is not supporting their fairy tale life, the life that they want, we find a reason to support the life that they want. Because, everybody has a story. And some people's stories are not the stories that they really wanted to be running. Some people think they're in the story. I felt like I was living the life, because if I think back to that time, I had what looked like on paper I had a nice home, I had a lovely car, I had a great job, I had lovely friends, I went on good holidays, yada yada yada, tick tick tick. Yet, if anybody's, if you've seen Titanic, where that part where Rose says everything was as it should be for the well-grown, but inside she was screaming, and that to me, inside I was screaming going, but all of this is working, surely I should, why am I not feeling that this is the way I want to be going, this is the right thing for me? So I guess for me, it's helping people understand that if the things in your life are not the way you expected or wanted them to be, it doesn't mean that this is, get off autopilot and start directing your own life. And I can help people direct their life to be completely different, because a lot of the beliefs and a lot of the kind of patterns that we run, we're just running them on autopilot. And as soon as we get off autopilot and start to drive in a different direction, that's when the magic can happen. That's when you can really feel the difference. I
think the why is a very powerful thing, particularly for me, because I stumbled across Simon Sinek.
Absolutely.
Start with why. I was on one of these free funded business training course things about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was like 4 hours in the afternoon. It was roasting hot. I was bored out of my brain. And the lady that was running it, I mean, she was a lovely lady, but the content was dire, proper dire. We've all been on them.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I'm going to show you a 20-minute video. I ain't got the
20
attention.
minutes.
You're going to show me a video for 20 minutes. I'm going to be asleep. Because has anyone got gym?
Yeah.
Anyone got gym? And it was actually the TED Talk by Simon Sinek.
Right. Yeah.
I kid you not. We were watching a TED Talk video in a room full of people. Yeah. I clapped when it finished.
Awesome.
I'm clapping at the bottom.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's such a profound, it's a very simple concept, and it's all about kind of finding your why you want to do stuff.
Absolutely.
And I know that it's had a very profound effect on you as well, and it's taken you back further than you thought it would.
It absolutely has, because when I start to look at what I do, because I absolutely love what I do. I just light up when somebody just gets that moment where they go, oh my God, and it's as if they've turned around. And I thought that's all because I've had this experience and that's how I felt, and brilliant. And it wasn't until, because, I call myself a therapist and a coach, and I too have a coach. And sometimes my coach uncovers things in me that I kind of go, oh, and that happened when I kind of started to go a bit further back. When I look at when I was in, if I go back to when I wanted to be the chiropodist, and I was in big school, and I was a really confident child through infant school, little school, first school, little school,
primary,
and then I got to the age of 11. And what we often find as well, 11 is one of those ages. It's a real turning age when
particularly for girls.
Absolutely, 11 is one of those. And at 11, I went to big school, feeling all confident, feeling quite good about myself.
I think kind of little school where you're top dog,
Absolutely.
You're the oldest, suddenly you're the little one.
Yeah, you are the littlest fish in this huge big pond, and everyone's done this before. And
16-year-olds look like proper grown-up people.
They're
figures, you're like,
got beards and boobs.
Yeah, having proper serious conversations.
Totally, yeah, they're talking things. Yeah. So yeah, I went to school, and then I realised as I went to school, that I had a big nose, apparently. Who knew? I didn't know that beforehand, but I got to big school, and then it was obviously pointed out to me in many ridiculing ways. Kids and me. Yeah. But I had a big, so I didn't realise, and I kind of went, oh, okay then. And it wasn't pleasant, it wasn't nice. I got through school, but what I realised was, so the first opportunity I got, I corrected that, and I had a nose job. But what I understood from now, knowing what I know about how we work and how our minds work and how we think about things, and if we think about our reason why, my reason why was to fit in. A smaller nose, I will fit in, because previously I didn't fit in. I was looking to be in the gangs that were in the cool gang.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in that kind of place that didn't have the fingers pointed in. I wanted to fit in. And I think, I expected quite naively that the day after I woke up after having the surgery, I would be a completely different person. Hey, I'd be the most confident person in the world. I could do anything I wanted. But new news to me was that I was exactly the same person. I was exactly the same person. I just looked a little bit differently. And that was kind of a shocker. It was like, oh my gosh. So for me, that whole kind of wanting to fit in was still there. I still wanted to fit in because I was still the old me. I still had the old programs running in the background. If we think about like a computer, it was still running the old software that I had. I hadn't upgraded my software. I just upgraded the keyboard kind of thing. Software was still exactly the same. And it wasn't until I realised that, you know, I want to help people understand that you can fit in. You can be part of the cool gang. It just takes a little bit of adjustment. And sometimes it doesn't take the adjustment of changing how you look, because when you know and you are happy with what you are and your confidence is high, your self-esteem is high, the facade doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. So for me, looking back at that turning point where I kind of went, oh, and there was elements of that carried on from 17 to probably about 28, where I was looking to fit in. I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to be, and part of my programming was that, well, you can't possibly fit in because you don't look the same, you don't belong in that group kind of thing. And it's when you realise that you absolutely do, and a little bit of rewiring around those beliefs and around that software can change everything really quickly. And it doesn't need to be as drastic as plastic surgery.
Do you think that's why, to an extreme level, the likes of, you know, Katie Price and all these who go under the knife time and time again, and they don't need to?
They absolutely don't. But it's the fitting in, it's the part of belonging. We are tribal animals, we know we are. We like to be in a tribe. And some of the stuff that I do with corporate teams around, when I help them understand that, you know, when you become really, really successful at something, you're pretty much on your own. And if we go back to that tribal mentality, we don't have our tribe looking out for us and protecting us. And so we're constantly on high alert, looking for danger. And that danger can be anything that we perceive. So we can start looking around thinking, oh gosh, you know, I need the protection of my gang or my tribe that's going to look out for things for me. And we become much less empathetic, much less kind of nice to people when we progress through, especially career ladders, because we are on our own and we're separated from people, so we kind of look for other things to make us feel like we can fit back in with the gang.
Do you think it's worse because of social media?
Oh, yes.
I knew what that answer was going to be straight off, because it's one of those, and I'm on it, we're all the platforms, and you do get you in it. It is about that's how I should look, and filters.
Yeah,
I mean, filters are great when you get to my age and you haven't got any makeup on. I'm like, oh, look at me.
I'm looking hot today. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, especially now, and even now, it's the attention that we give to that kind of, to the social media platforms. And I was working with some younger guys, you know, 16, 17-year-olds, and when you understand their kind of routine, as soon as they wake up in the morning, phone straight away, scroll, and you think, oh, if only you knew what you're killing. Your creativity is getting killed in that first 10 minutes. Just take it. It absolutely does make it, and we are constantly looking at things going, oh, I like that, and I want to look like that, I want to emulate that. And even, do you know what, even this morning there was something that I looked at and I thought, oh, I want that. It was one of these, this will clear your wrinkles and you will look 12 next week. And I went, oh, get it. And then I had to go, whoa, that was a massive trigger. Stop. What are you doing? Don't be silly.
Yeah.
You've been down that road. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. But yeah, I think social media, definitely, it has its huge values. But I think when we are realistic around it, it can be really powerful. But there's elements that we kind of get sucked in. It's dangerous.
I do. I must get Botox on that line there, because every time I do that, I get a really deep line. Actually, just don't do that. And I haven't got the time.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Get a fringe. That's fine. Yeah. Get a heavy fringe. That's my Botox trick. Yeah.
And I love it. It's just kind of, do you know what? Embrace it.
Oh my gosh, you know what?
But it's a very easy thing to sit and say. But to someone who's maybe gone through a marriage that wasn't a particularly kind marriage, or even a relationship that wasn't kind. It doesn't even have to be with a partner. It could be parents or siblings.
Absolutely.
I mean, school's just a breeding ground. Kids are awful.
Kids are mean.
Kids,
and it's all protection.
It's
all
themselves.
To protect themselves. It's all to deflect whatever. And it's great knowing that, isn't it? Hindsight is such a wonderful thing. But when you live in it, it's not. It's not a great thing when you're living that and going through it. And I think for me, helping people to be able to make sense of some of those noises in the head and make sense of some of those patterns that are unhelpful is just magic for me.
How do you find it in terms of getting work? I know you're in a networking group,
yes.
but also, do people find you and come to you? Are they at that stage where they're asking for help? Or I guess it's a difficult thing. You could probably pick up with someone you're having a conversation like you're not in the right place, but I guess you can't kind of go, you need a bit of help.
You know what? That's such a great question, because there are a lot of people. I think if we go back to the beginning, yes, the majority of clients that I have come from referrals, come from people who've been to see me about something and have experienced something life-changing, have experienced something that they feel positive about, that was worthwhile, and they will refer into their friends and family. And they also, you know, I have some clients who will refer me into their business, that will be like, you know, you need to tell everybody this, because nobody understands this kind of stuff, which is brilliant. But there is that element of, I will get calls where people say, I really need you to speak to my partner, my husband, and I'm like, okay then, why? Because they do this, this and this, and it's killing them. They're really, I know they're really unhappy. Do they know they're unhappy and want help? No, absolutely not. I've just spotted it. And unfortunately, I can't help, because unless you absolutely want to make that change, like for me, I was 10 years thinking, this is it. That if somebody had said to me when I was 25, 26, you should really go and see somebody, you know, because they can help you, I'd have gone, hang on, look at my piece of paper here that ticks all the boxes on life. I'm winning, because it says so on here, I'm winning. The fact that I'm dying inside, that doesn't matter, because these are the things that I'm winning about. And until, even if somebody had said to me, but you've got to understand the reason, I'd have kind of gone, yeah, I don't get it. So there is that, there has to be a turning point where people go, I'm ready now. And it may be that they've had enough of something, they want to stop doing something, or they want to start doing something, because pretty much they just, you know, if they carry on doing the same thing, it's not going to change in any way.
Is there an element to think of, I'm just kind of thinking, it's a very difficult thing to admit that you need help. I think it's a very brave thing when people say that they want help. Do you think there's an element of guilt that goes with it as well? Like, I want to take control of my life. If it's particularly a mum or a dad who spent all their time looking after other people, and then suddenly they go, this is my time now, and I know I've got to make some big change and people are going to get hurt.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's that, as I mentioned earlier, that autopilot. I think when we get enlightened to the fact that, oh my gosh, I've just been doing this for such a long time, this is just the way I am. And, you know, one of the rules of the mind is we love what's familiar. We adore what's familiar. We don't like unfamiliar stuff, don't like it. So when we can make the unfamiliar more familiar, that's when we can really change things. But you're absolutely right, there's that element of, I've been doing this for so many times. Sometimes there's an event that happens that people go, oh, I don't need to continue doing this now, do I? This is completely different. I don't need to continue around that kind of thought process or that life, or I don't need to continue being this way. And sometimes it's people who have had conversations with friends and family, and they've kind of said, oh, you should do this, and they kind of go, oh, I should do this, should I? No, it's only going to work if you absolutely want to do it. And a lot of the clients I have, I really have to make sure when I go through the process that I have when a client comes to me, I always make sure they fill in just a really short questionnaire so I can understand how I can help them. But that also helps me to understand, are they really committed to this? Is this something that they really want to make? Because until that commitment is there, it's we're just papering over cracks, really.
Is there, I'm just conscious, we've got about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Is there, so if someone's sitting watching this now and they're thinking, all this rings true, I'm not happy, I can feel that I'm not happy, but I don't have, is that, like, you know, you read these stories and it's like, are you dependent on alcohol, and it's, do you drink this many units a week, or can you function without doing this? Is there some kind of mental checklist that you could go through yourself and think, I'm at the point now where I do need to reach out to Judi?
I think there is always, if we go back to the whole social media thing, if we are spending a lot of time on social media wishing our lives would be different, if we are spending a lot of time and money on things that we think are going to fix stuff. So what I mean by that is if we're just buying things to make us happy, that kind of stuff, if we think, and if we recognise that I'm not feeling great today, I'll just go shopping. I'll just go and get a piece of cake. I'll just go and do that. It's those kind of things that, without getting into the brain science of it all, those kind of things that are on the side of caution, bit of an alarm bell going on here that no, you're not running from the part of your brain that's the executive function, if you like, that's the one that's going to drive. It's those kind of, and even those, I keep saying it, but if we're still on that habit, that autopilot of just doing and doing and doing, and if there's things that we are spotting as a checklist in our head that goes, how many times do I get up out of bed of a morning and just, you know, look forward to the day ahead? If that is like less than 5, yeah, you need to have a little word.
Yeah. And how can people get in touch with you?
So they can get in touch with me from Your Time to Change. So it's your time, the number 2, change.co.uk. But I also, obviously, there is, I am on Instagram and we've got a Facebook page and that kind of stuff. So yes, all Your Time to Change with the 2 is a number 2.
Fabulous. Judi, it's just been so lovely having you here.
Thank
I
you
could
so
sit.
much.
I say this every week. I could sit and talk to you for another 2 hours.
I could talk forever.
You have to come back for part 2. There you go. So much. I wanted to get onto NLP and all this kind of stuff. And but do check Judi out. Honestly, I'm just a love of pink. Can I just use the prize for the most colour coordinated guest, shoes and bag, and I don't think it hasn't been noticed. I'm very jealous. Indeed. Judi, thank you very much. So yes, Your Time to Change. I'm probably back to front for you. I can't work out how to do it. 2.
Whoa, nice. That was good.
Yeah, there we go. I've got skills. Yeah. They don't pay any bills. Yeah, if you'd like to get in touch, then do reach out to Judi at any point. And it's any age that you can work with?
Absolutely, yes. What I tend to say is from the age of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're
Guys, it's been
welcome.
another
Thank
great
you.
show. If you would like to get in touch, you can do across all of the social media platforms. Search for Condo Online. Use the hashtag Stepping Stones. If you're a business owner and you'd like to share your story, then we'd love to have you in as a guest. So get in touch and we'll see you next week.